So, it's the next day. The funeral is over with. The sky kind of describes my mood right now. It's cloudy, but the sun is going to shine through a little bit, and you know what? We'll take it. So, as I mentioned, one, thank you for everyone who had well wishes towards the family. It was a little hard seeing people who, you know, you grew up with and people who you love say goodbye to their relative for the last time. But, you know, God gave me the strength to get through it. And let me just say this is when the real prayers start. You know, the first week or so before the funeral, everybody's bringing food by. There's plenty of chicken, desserts, everything. But it's, you know, after the casket has closed for the last time, when people go back to their normal routine, that, you know, people really need the prayers. But let me just say this. I was some people I hadn't seen in about 10 or 15 years. And even some family who I don't even see on a normal basis, who it was nice to see. But the message of today is they can't stay forever. God can heal them, but they cannot stay here forever. So a couple of years ago, I was reading the Bible all the way through. And in 2 Kings chapter 20, the first, I think, 6 verses, it talks about how Hezekiah was sick almost till death. And then, you know, he had a conversation with God, and God gave him an additional 15 years of life. Now, it was just 15 years. It wasn't eternity on life on earth. It was just 15 years. And in the end of that chapter, it talks about how Hezekiah passed away. And, you know, that was pretty much a good example of what happened today. You know, a couple of years ago is when she first had gotten sick. You know, she had had her first stroke, and, you know, the church was praying for her, of course, and everybody else was. But then, you know, later on, she ended up on oxygen, and eventually, you know, she ended up passing away. And, you know, as much as, you know, we pray for her healing and, you know, she was better for some time, she couldn't stay here forever. And I also thought about my aunt's friend who also went to our church. Back in January of 2019, she went into a coma. She was going through cancer, and she had went into a coma. And we thought that was the end. We were expecting, when I saw her in the hospital, I was expecting that was the last time I would see her. But she ended up getting out of that coma, and then by February, her first time she came back to church, as weak as she was running or jogging laps around the sanctuary, just happy to be back. But in September of 2019, she did end up passing away from that cancer. And, you know, I'm saying this more for me than for you all, because it's some other people in the church and even in the family. Like, I'm not sure how much longer they have. You know, I pray that they can make it through. But if not, then I'll be saving this video and I'll be watching it for myself. And I hope later rather than sooner, because I can really use a break right now from funerals. But, you know, they can't stay here forever. God can extend their life on earth. But, you know, unless he comes back first, we will all have to face that cooling board being put in front of the sanctuary and people viewing our body for the last time. So, you know, God can heal them, but they just cannot stay here forever. And that's just it's a solemn truth. It's a solemn truth.